Have you ever been so deep in the stress of adult life finals? Money worries, crumbling friendships that you lashed out at the one person who loves you unconditionally? That moment when stress turns into cruelty and you can see the pain in your mother's eyes? That's the crack in the foundation we're exploring today, for 20-year-old Ella. Drowning in deadlines and financial anxiety. The kindest gesture, a mug of chamomile tea from her mother, was met with a poison arrow. Some of us actually have to earn our way through life. The words were instantly regretted, yet left a searing silence. Most parents would respond with anger, a loud lecture on gratitude, or cold, dramatic withdrawal. But Ella's mother chose a different path entirely, a consequence Ella hadn't faced since she was a child. She knelt down and administered a form of parental correction that was utterly unexpected, absurd, and instantly disarming, a gentle, relentless tickle. This wasn't about pain or humiliation. It was about connection. It was a deeply personal, powerful reset button designed not to punish the 20-year-old lashing out, but to remind her of the small, loved child who is still inside. Watch how 10 seconds of breathless laughter, squirming on the carpet, dissolves a week's worth of resentment and rebuilds a bridge of respect, proving that sometimes the most powerful lessons come not with a shout, but with a tickle and the unwavering love behind it. Asterisk, the afternoon sun slanted through the living room blinds, casting warm stripes across the cream-colored carpet. Ella sat cross-legged on the floor. Her laptop was balanced precariously on her knees. Dark circles under her eyes betrayed a week of sleepless nights. Finals were looming. Her part-time job had cut her hours. Her best friend had just canceled their weekend plans again. She wore her favorite light blue sleeveless top and matching trousers, soft and comfortable, but even the familiar fabric couldn't soothe the knot of frustration tightening in her chest. Her mother appeared in the doorway, holding 2 mugs of chamomile tea. "I thought you could use a break, sweetheart," she said gently, setting one mug beside Ella's laptop. "You've been at it for hours." Ella didn't look up. "I need to be at it for hours, Mom. Some of us actually have to earn our way through life." The words came out sharper than she intended, but not sharp enough to stop them. Her mother flinched almost imperceptibly, but Ella was too deep in her own storm to notice. "I was just trying to help," her mom said quietly. "Well, maybe stop trying," Ella snapped, finally lifting her head. Her brown hair was pulled into a messy bun, strands escaping around her flushed face. "You don't understand anything about my life. You sit here in this quiet house all day while I'm out there drowning, so just leave me alone." The silence that followed was thick, heavy with disappointment. Ella immediately regretted it, but pride kept her jaw clenched. Her eyes fixed stubbornly on her screen. Her mother didn't yell. She didn't sigh dramatically or walk away in tears. Instead, she knelt down slowly beside Ella on the carpet. Her expression was unreadable. Ella braced herself for the lecture she knew was coming. The one about gratitude, about respect, about how hard her mother had worked to give her this life. But what came next was something Ella hadn't experienced since she was 10 years old. "Ella," her mother said, her voice calm but firm. "That tone is unacceptable." Before Ella could retort, her mother's hands, warm and familiar, landed lightly on her sides, just above the waistband of her light blue trousers. And then, with a feather-like touch, she began to tickle. It wasn't rough. It wasn't mocking. It was the exact same playful, rhythmic flutter her mother used when Ella was little and had sassed her after bedtime. A childhood punishment born not of anger, but of affectionate correction. Ella gasped. A startled laugh burst from her lips before she could stop it. "Mom, stop," she squeaked, squirming on the carpet, her laptop sliding off her lap. But her mother didn't stop. Not right away. For just 5, maybe 10 seconds, she kept up the gentle, Roland was tickling on Ella's stomach through the thin cotton of her sleeveless top. Ella's laughter turned breathless, tears pricking her eyes, not from pain, but from the sheer absurdity and sudden vulnerability of it all. The anger that had coiled inside her dissolved like sugar in hot tea, replaced by a disarming helplessness she hadn't felt in years. Then, as quickly as it began, it stopped. Her mother withdrew her hands, her expression softening. Ella lay back on the carpet, chest heaving, cheeks burning, half laughing, half crying. In the quiet that followed, Ella stared at the ceiling, her heart pounding. The room smelled faintly of chamomile and the lavender candle her mom always lit in the afternoons. The world outside, the stress, the deadlines, the loneliness felt distant, muffled. She turned her head to look at her mother, who was watching her with eyes full of love and quiet disappointment. Not anger, never anger. "I know you're stressed, sweetheart," her mom said softly, brushing a stray strand of hair from Ella's forehead. "But speaking to me like that, that's not you and it's not okay." Ella's throat tightened. The words weren't scolding. They were a mirror. And in that reflection, she saw not a victim of circumstance, but someone who had just been cruel to the person who loved her most. The tickle hadn't been punishment. It had been a reset button. A gentle, absurd, deeply personal way of saying, "Remember who you are. Remember who I am to you." And it worked. All the walls she'd built with her sharp words crumbled in an instant. She wasn't a stressed adult lashing out at an inconvenient parent. She was still her mother's daughter, flawed, overwhelmed, but loved unconditionally. Tears spilled over, tracing warm paths down Ella's temples into her hair. She sat up slowly, hugging her knees to her chest, her light blue outfit rumpled from the brief tussle. "I'm so sorry, Mom," she whispered, her voice thick. I did say it, but I didn't mean it like that. I feel like I'm failing at everything, and I took it out on you. That was awful of me." Her mother didn't say it's okay, because it wasn't. Not really. Instead, she opened her arms. Ella crawled into them without hesitation, burying her face in her mother's shoulder like she used to when she was small. The scent of her mom's jasmine perfume, the steady rhythm of her heartbeat, it was home. "I know you are," her mother murmured, stroking her hair. "But we talk to each other, not at each other, always, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard." They sat like that for a long moment on the sunlit carpet, the silence now comfortable, healing. The mug of tea sat forgotten, but the warmth between them was more than enough. Eventually, Ella pulled back, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. "I bombed my economics midterm," she admitted quietly, "and my manager said I might not get enough shifts next month to cover rent. And Jess, she's been distant. I just feel like I'm sinking." Her mother listened, truly listened, without interrupting, without offering quick fixes. When Ella finished, she simply said, "That sounds really hard. Do you want to talk about what you need or just sit here for a while?" Ella smiled faintly. "Just sit for now." As they leaned against the sofa together, Ella reflected on the strange, tender moment that had just passed. In a world where discipline often meant raised voices or cold silence, her mother had chosen something else entirely. A relic from childhood repurposed not as control, but as connection. It wasn't about power. It was about presence, about saying, "I see you. I'm still here, and I won't let you lose yourself." She realized then that respect wasn't just about saying please and thank you. It was about honoring the person who had held her through fevers and heartbreaks, who had sacrificed silently so Ella could chase her dreams. It was about remembering that even at 20, she wasn't too old to be gently reminded of her better self. Later, as the sun dipped lower and painted the room gold, Ella picked up her forgotten mug of tea. It was cold now, but she didn't mind. She took a sip anyway, then reached for her laptop. not to bury herself in stress, but to email her professor about extra credit options. Her mother stood smoothing her skirt. Dinner in an hour. I'm making your favorite mushroom risotto. Ella nodded, her voice steady now, warm with gratitude. Yeah, Mom, that sounds perfect. And as her mother walked toward the kitchen, Ella whispered one more thing, soft but clear. Thank you. Her mother paused in the doorway, turned, and smiled. Not a triumphant smile, just a quiet, knowing one. The kind that said, I've always got you. Ella settled back onto the carpet, the light blue fabric of her clothes blending with the afternoon glow. She wasn't drowning anymore. She was anchored. And sometimes she realized the most powerful lessons came not with a shout, but with a tickle and the unwavering love behind it. Before you click away, tell us, do you think this tickle punishment is an effective way for a parent to correct an adult child's disrespectful behavior, or does it risk crossing boundaries? What is a unique or unexpected reset button a loved one has used to break your tension or pull you out of a stressful spiral? In a high-stress moment, do you prefer a parent to listen silently or to use a clear, firm correction like the one Ella received?